Hi, you're watching another episode of Chop It Up with the Chairman. Hi, I'm Chairman Oz Nesbitt, Rockdale County. And today our guest is the Honorable Congressman Hank Johnson, who represents the 4th District, the 4th Congressional District, and that includes Rockdale County. Congressman, I'm going to give you a fat fist bump. Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you. Now, Congressman, before we get into all of this business, how long have you been serving now?
Gosh, I started actually 20 years ago as a county commissioner for DeKalb County.
Yes, sir.
I got elected in 2000 and took office in January of 2001. And so I remember clearly as we approach September 11th, 2021, the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. I was a brand new commissioner at that point.
Wow.
And but prior to that, I did serve 12 years as a magistrate court judge in DeKalb County.
That's right.
17 years of service doing that, county commission and judge.
Okay.
And now 15 years as a congressman. So I've done a lot of public service.
Yes, sir. In fact, it's safe to say at this point, Congressman, that you've given your life to the people. And what drives you? What motivates Hank Johnson to get up every day and put on the people's hat and take care of the people's business?
Well, it's the servant mentality that I think I have. I've always been someone who hasn't been so much of a taker, but have been more of a maker, make way for someone else. And so I always kind of put others ahead of myself. I'm always wanting to serve the people. And so even as a lawyer, when I went into the private practice of law back in January of 1980, literally hanging out a shingle. I didn't go to work for anybody. I just hung a shingle out and set myself out as a lawyer, ready to represent the people in whatever way they needed me to represent them. So I started out doing landlord, tenant, and all kinds of stuff, and I ended up as a criminal defense lawyer. And so 27 years I practiced law, along with my wife, who's now a commissioner in DeKalb County. Her name is Marita Davis Johnson.
Yes.
We practiced law for about 25 years together before I went to Congress. And during my entire 27 years of practicing law, I regarded the people as the people of my community, pretty much as my congregation, and I was their servant. I was there to minister to them in their time of need.
Well, I like the way you put it. And so the other question I wanted to ask, you're a native of, where are you from originally?
I'm originally born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Born and raised in Washington, D.C. Your life has gone full circle at this point. I'd say you back where you started from, although the majority of your work, I think, has been right here in Georgia, DeKalb County. And certainly you have been well respected by the people, very recognizable face and very accessible too. I do want to say that the people here in Rockdale County appreciate being able to call their chairman to reach their congressman. And a lot of times there's been occasions where you've already talked to the people by the time I get to them. So that is quite impressive with your busy schedule between Atlanta and D.C. Let's shift gears a little bit now, Congressman. We've been going through this pandemic. It's been well over 22 months, and the world has completely turned upside down due to COVID-19 and this awful pandemic. You have been on the world stage talking about the difficulties of every aspect, the health part of it, the mental health part of it, and then the economic development standpoint. Talk to us a little bit. Let's talk about COVID and where are you with this whole COVID process and encouraging people to move forward?
Well, I tell you, the biggest pandemic that America had suffered from, I forget what it was, 618,000 American people lost their lives during that pandemic to that illness. And but this time, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit us, and I think we have now sustained somewhere between 630, 640,000 deaths of Americans since this pandemic began. It's been a very deadly century, once in a century type of pandemic, taken out lots of people and lots of sickness in addition to the deaths. Probably close to 40 million people across the country have been sickened. I mean, 330 million people, so 40 million, that's quite a big number.
That's a huge number. Yes,
every
sir.
American has been impacted by the physical illness associated with the pandemic. And then the mental part of it, as you mentioned earlier, so profound, so many people suffering mentally as a result. And then on top of that, there's been an economic fallout. The economy went into a tailspin. The loss of jobs was unprecedented at the depths of this pandemic. The number of jobs that disappeared, the number of businesses that folded, and the economy was threatened with greater peril than even the Great Depression. But fortunately, Congress stepped up to the plate with the CARES Act and other pandemic-related legislation, a total of 5 bills that got us through this pandemic and that resulted in putting shots in arms, putting people back to work, putting money in people's pockets, and making sure that our children could get back to school safely. And so that's what all of this spending has done. And there's a lot more that is on the way. And this has resulted in our economy being able to withstand this pandemic and also putting people in a position to overcome the illness associated with the pandemic.
So, Congressman, you talked about a lot of things as many things have been related to COVID and this overall pandemic. Let me ask you a little bit more personal. What is your personal stance on the COVID vaccine in terms of, I know, I'll start with myself. I've been vaccinated. I'm double vaccinated. I feel good about it, and so have all of the immediate members of my household and my family. What's your take on folks getting the vaccine and moving forward?
Yeah, need to get the vaccine. There's no reason to delay. All of the false information out there that is keeping people from getting the vaccine is unfortunate. The vaccine itself is not killing people, but COVID-19, which the vaccine helps address, is killing people. Like I said, 640,000 people in this country have died. There has been just a smidgen, a small smidgen of deaths associated with taking the vaccine, maybe 20 throughout the world.
Congressman, you put a really clear perspective on that. I really like that answer because you just hit the nail in the head about what you think should happen in terms of folks getting the vaccine and the rate of recovery and the rate of life versus the rate of death. Let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about something I know that's big with you, and that's small business people and entrepreneurs. That's a huge thing for us here in Rockdale County. I'm smiling because that's the backbone not only of America, but that's the backbone of Rockdale County. You've done a lot in the area of supporting local small businesses and entrepreneurs. Give us the Congressman Hank Johnson's perspective and your outlook, or perhaps your forecast moving forward as it relates to small business and entrepreneurs.
Well, you're exactly right, Chairman Oz. I mean, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. They are the job creators. They are the innovators. They are the source that keeps America moving forward. Of course, we have big business also, multinational, and their thing is the bottom line, like all businesses are.
Yes.
But, small businesses are the key to the success of this country. And I was a small businessman myself, as a lawyer, hiring people, having to meet payroll every week, paying folks even when I'm not getting paid. And
sometimes sweating to meet payroll.
That's right. That's
not
exactly
knowing whether
right.
you're going to make it happen or not.
Right.
What's the federal government's position at this time to incentivize or support, maybe kind of prop up these struggling small businesses who've been struggling throughout this pandemic?
Well, the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as the PPP program,
Yes.
was a lifesaver for so many businesses. It was a program that was established to aid businesses to help them get through this pandemic. And the first tranche of the billions of dollars that were allocated for the PPP program were allocated, unfortunately, to the larger businesses. And so we had to go back, do another PPP program, and that money went to the smaller businesses. And so many small businesses were able to keep their doors open and keep employees on the payroll.
Yes.
As a result of getting that cash infusion from the federal government. Don't let anybody tell you that somebody giving you something is going to make you fat and lazy. When you need help, there should be someone there to help you. And in this case, it was the federal government opened up its pocketbook and gave people the money, and that money trickled down the way that trickle down is supposed to work. It goes into the hands up top to take care of those on the bottom, and that's
right.
what the PPP program ended up doing.
Congressman, we certainly do appreciate your support of the PPP program and knowing that so many small businesses and entrepreneurs were able to take advantage of the PPP program. Another area that's been a hot topic, right at this very moment, and that's eviction and eviction assistance and rental assistance for so many families out there who have found themselves in somewhat of a pickle as it relate to paying their rent or mortgage and being able to survive during this pandemic. Rockdale County, being a smaller community, a smaller county, one of the smallest counties in the state of Georgia, we were not awarded directly into our coffers the funds, but the Department of Community Affairs is the state agency who administers those funds that has been awarded through the federal government. You've taken a really strong and, should I say, active role, Congressman, about making sure that the Department of Community Affairs disseminate that information down to the local people here in Rockdale County. What's your position in terms of making sure that continues to happen?
Well, it was Democrats in Congress who passed the CARES Act, who passed the American Rescue Plan, who passed last year's omnibus spending bill. The omnibus spending bill and the American Rescue Plan, which we passed and Joe Biden signed in March of this year, provided the funding for the emergency rental assistance. It was $46.5 billion. The state of Georgia ended up with, I think, $550 million to disperse. And the fact that it was a Democratic Congress, House and Senate, and President who made this money available to the American people to flow down to, I used the word trickle down, but actually pass through is the better term. Passing through the state down to the people who need it. There's no reason why a Republican state would not fairly and efficiently allocate or pass through that fund that the federal government put forward so that it reaches the people who need it. And in this case, it's the landlords and the tenants who owe rent to these landlords. And so this emergency rental assistance money for Rockdale County has been entrusted to the Republicans in this state to pass through to Rockdale residents, who, by the way, have elected a all-Democratic county commission. Democrats, I think, it's a Democratic county, there's no question about it, but it should not be penalized one bit for being a Democratic county. Its citizens are hardworking, they pay taxes like everyone else, and they deserve to benefit from this program. And so if you are a tenant who is behind in your rent, and it's caused by the pandemic, it's related to the pandemic, maybe you lost your job, your hours were cut, you got sick, whatever the case might be, that is a reason that would support your eligibility to get some rental assistance from this program. And so if you're having a problem with paying your rent, then you need to reach out to Georgia rentalassistance.ga.gov. That's how you can reach the Department of Community Affairs.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you that one more time. Georgia rentalassistance.ga.gov. You can reach them through their website, or you can email for information about assistance. You can do that at rentalassistance@dca.ga.gov. That's rentalassistance@dca.ga.gov. And if you want to do things the old-fashioned way, I can't guarantee you that your call will get through as it would if you were calling Chairman Oz.
That's right.
But you can call 833
827
RENT.
Rent, R-E-N-T.
That's right. So,
you know, the need
so to break that down,
Yes,
833-827-7368.
Give it to him one more time, Congressman.
833-827-7368.
Thank you so much. The need for shelter is not limited on your party affiliation. Right. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, if you're homeless, you're homeless. Most homeless people don't have a real or true party affiliation. They're more concerned about shelter. And that's what these funds are being able to assist many people, regardless, again, of their party affiliation or religion or gender or race. No one wants to be on the outside in the elements. And you talk about an entire family being displaced as a result of what has happened. So we really do hope that people are going to take advantage of that.
And Chairman Oz, you represent Republicans. I mean,
Absolutely.
Republicans may not be in the majority in this county, but you have a fair degree of Republicans who you represent. And this money is for, as you said, it's not for Democrats. Mm-mm. It's for Democrats, Republicans, independents, folks who don't vote.
You name it. And Congressman, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've made a very clear and very strong stance since the time I've been serving, since 2009, when I was a regular Post 1 commissioner for 8 years. I don't give a flying flip what color you are, what party affiliation. If you live in Rockdale County, there's something that I, my staff and team can do to assist you. And the staff here will tell you, I don't get caught up in all of the D for Democrat or the R for Republican, but certainly the P for the people. And when people need shelter, it's our responsibility to connect them with the resources. I'm so glad that you brought the direct email address along with the phone number, so folks will know exactly how to contact the Department of Community Affairs here in the state of Georgia that can assist them.
I got to do it one more time.
Yes, sir.
Georgia rentalassistance.ga.gov, or you can email rentalassistance@dca.ga.gov, or you can call 833-827-RENT.
There you go.
That's 833-827-7368. Now, y'all, I'm going to give you this number one more time. I don't want anybody sitting there on the couch thinking about, I should have got that number. Get your pen out. I'm gonna give it. I'll do it. We'll do it again before.
And
go get your pen, though.
That's
meanwhile,
right.
let's continue.
And we'll also have our team to put it across the screen there on the ticker, so folks can have that
Fair
number. Congressman, you're good. You're sharp. You're right on top of your game. I do want to shift again a little bit. I want to move now to another. You are part of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee on the national level. That's a big talk all across America, certainly here in our region in the state of Georgia. Rockdale County has several transportation and infrastructure projects, whether we're talking about roads and bridges or simply talk about our waterways and storm water. What is your take? What's your position about pushing this transportation and infrastructure initiatives forward?
We need to get it done. The Senate has passed a bipartisan infrastructure bill that deals with hard infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband, water pipes, both drinking and wastewater, broadband, etc. And that bill needs to be passed, but that's a $1 trillion bill. But we also have a $3.5 trillion Build Back Better infrastructure bill that awaits congressional action. The Senate has sent us a budget bill with instructions to fund a hard infrastructure and human infrastructure bill with the top line of $3.5 trillion, and to send that bill back to them by September the 15th. And with our bill, then the Senate will vote. They don't have to go through what's called the filibuster. It can just simply be a majority vote situation, 50 votes plus one, which is the vice president. We will be able to handle that in the Senate.
That's both interesting and exciting. We got to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and wrap up. I want to talk a little bit more about Build Back Better. So I want to hear a little bit more from you, Congressman, on that. We'll come back again and wrap up. Folks, you've been watching another episode of Chop It Up with the Chairman. Our guest this time is our very own Congressman Hank Johnson, representing the 4th District, the 4th Congressional District, which includes Rockdale County.
Do you have a question you want to ask Rockdale County?
How can I get involved?
What do stormwater fees cover?
Are there dog parks in Rockdale County?
I want to start a business out of my home. How do I do that?
What is SPLOST?
Why is Rockdale building roundabouts? Can I build a shed on my property?
Who's the chairman?
How do I get a tag for my car?
How do I get a marriage license?
Who's my representative?
How do I register to vote? Community questions.
Rockdale Water Resources has several ways for our customers to pay their bill. Number one, they can visit us right down here in Old Town Conyers at 940 South Main Street, right here in Big Blue. They can also call us at 770-278-7400 and toll free 24 hours a day at 844-396-2347. And certainly we have a convenient way for them to pay online. All they have to do is visit rockdalecountyga.gov and click on the water resource link, and it will direct them directly to our online page.
If you have a question, send it to publicrelations@rockdalecountyga.gov.
Community questions, finding the answers you need to live, work, and play in Rockdale County. Did you know that for every dollar paid in taxes, Rockdale County receives 18% or 18 cents? The remaining 82% goes towards the school system. That 18 cents from each dollar funds public safety, general government, court services, recreation, and transportation, which are all included in the general fund. The remaining 82 cents that goes to Rockdale County Public Schools funds instruction and student support, maintenance operations, transportation, general administration, and school administration, with about 70% going towards instruction and student support. On August 24th, the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners unanimously adopted a 2021 millage rate of 16.69 mils, which is less than the 2020 rate of 18.01. Earlier this year, the Rockdale County School Board also rolled back on their millage rate by adopting a rate of 22.71. Neither the Board of Commissioners nor the School Board have any influence on how the other entity sets their millage rate.
Folks, welcome back to another episode, another segment of Chop It Up with the Chairman. Hi, I'm Chairman Oz Nesbitt, Rockdale County. This week, our guests we've been fortunate to have our very own Congressman Hank Johnson. Congressman, you've been giving us a lot of good information. We talked about COVID, small businesses and entrepreneurs, the PPP program. We talked about rental assistance and how to avoid evictions. Really nailed down talking about this transportation and infrastructure and build back better. We're getting ready to wrap up. We just got a small amount of time left here in this segment. It's been an honor to have you. But before we do, I want you to give us your perspective in a nutshell on build back better.
It means counties and cities get the money that they need from the federal government to increase the capacity of their roads, to help rebuild some of the bridges, doing things that will result in better traffic flow, not to mention broadband, not to mention water and sewer. But, things like there's a program that you mentioned to me, Oz, probably about 4 years ago, and you had a dream about providing transportation to veterans who live in Rockdale County to be able to get to their medical appointments.
Yes.
It's funding for things like that some may say are small, but they provide such a better quality of life for the people who you and who we are serving.
And Congressman, don't let me miss another opportunity to say thank you for supporting that initiative, because we, as you know, we have that van here in Rockdale County. And we appreciate
but it's just
your support
it's just one van, and it's doing a great job.
Yes, sir.
But that van is going to get old, and we're going to need to replace it, and maybe we need to replace it with more than one.
That's correct.
And so things such as that happening for Rockdale County, that's what this Build Back Better program will do.
Well, we're excited about Build Back Better. We're really pleased to have you here on our Chop It Up with the Chairman. This is a new thing we've been doing this year, and it's really been serving information to the constituents of Rockdale County. Just three last things. I always try to end up with three basic personal things. I got three things for you. Sometimes people think we're not real when we're in these roles and doing what we do. Number one, what's your favorite food?
Cajun.
Okay.
Fried Cajun food.
Okay. All right. Fried Cajun food. Okay. Yep. All right. And what's your favorite music or artist?
I like rock, rap, country, and R&B.
All right.
And I listen to a little classical also.
A little classical as well.
Yep.
I got to ask you, because there's some young people watching, what's your favorite rap artist?
Oh, boy. I'm an old schooler there, so you take me back to Biggie, Nas, even Jay-Z.
Okay.
And I got to give your boy, what's from Detroit, Eminem. I got to give Eminem some credit.
Okay. All right.
These young guys are doing their thing out here. As I get older, it's taking me longer to kind of feel what Migos and all those other guys. But I do like Drake. Kendrick Lamar, A$AP Rocky. We got some talented folks out here. Kanye, despite his politics, you put that aside, he's brilliant.
Congressman, we like to keep it real. Your favorite food is Cajun fried. You talked about a host of different artists. I'm quite impressed with your rundown of a lot of the artists, a few old school, but a lot of those folks are very new school and relevant. The last question I have for you, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
All right.
Purple and gold.
There you go. Well, you're certainly a man after my own heart, because Chairman Nesbitt's favorite color is purple. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, listen, this has been good. Folks, you've been watching Channel 23, another segment of Rockdale Chop It Up with the Chairman with Chairman Oz Nesbitt. Stay tuned and continue to watch Channel 23.